What I am about to tell you is the story of Romeo and Juliet. A couple of star-crossed lovers denied their love to one another due to the conflict between their families, the Capulets and the Montagus. Our story starts shortly after Romeo and Juliet just met, but it is clear to observe that their love was love at first sight.
He just had scars that never felt a wound. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks. It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who's already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her mate, art far more fair than she. Be not her mate, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. Am I too bold? 'Tis not make me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all of the heaven, having some business to entreat her eyes, to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would thought the airy regions steam so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I wore a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven, unto the wide upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds, and sail upon the bosom of the air.
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, but be sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? Is it nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man? Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we all call a rose, by any other name, would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo doth thy name, and for that name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that dost bescreen the night, so stumbles on my counsel?
By a name, I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eyes than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death provoked, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love, who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word, and yet if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false at lovers' perjuries. Then say, Jove laughs, O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully, or if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thy name. So thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too found, and therefore thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentleman, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst error, I will swear. My true love's passion, therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I swear, that tips with silver all these fruit treetops.
O swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb. Let's that thy love prove likewise variable.
Then what shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or if thou wilt, swear by the gracious self, which in the guard of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
At the balcony, Romeo and Juliet decide that they will marry each other the next morning. After that, Romeo goes to Friar Lawrence to arrange the wedding, and the next morning at 9 o'clock, Romeo and Juliet meet at Friar Lawrence's cell to get married. In the meantime, Benvolio and Mercutio are looking for Romeo because Tybalt wants to challenge him in a duel. When Romeo arrives, he denies the challenge, and Mercutio fights Tybalt instead and dies. This triggers Romeo, and therefore he kills Tybalt, which results in Romeo being banished. Juliet is told about Tybalt's death and Romeo's banishment, and she is being told by Lord Capulet that she has to marry Paris. Juliet speaks to Friar Lawrence. He tells her a way to avoid the wedding with Paris. She has to drink a certain drug to look dead when the rest of the Capulets arrives. When the Capulets find Juliet's dead body, Romeo is told by Balthazar that she is dead. This hurts Romeo, and he buys some poison. Paris arrives at Juliet's tomb, and so does Romeo. Paris confronts Romeo, but Romeo kills him. Right after that, Romeo kills himself with the poison. When Juliet wakes, she sees Romeo's dead body and stabs herself.
Give me the letter. I will look on it. Where is the Countess Pace that raised the watch? Sirrah, what made your master in this place?
He came with flowers to strew his lady's grave, and bid me stand aloof, and so I did. Anon comes one with light to ope the tomb, and by my master drew on him. and then I ran away to call the watch.
This letter doth make good the friar's words, their calls of love, the tidings of her death. And here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die, and he with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love, and I for winking at your discouraged tomb have lost a brace of kinsmen, all are punished. O brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
But I can't give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold. For that while Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure as such rate be set, as that of true and faithful Juliet.
Shall Romeo's by his lady's lie, pour sacrifices of our enmity. A gloom in peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.